Welcome to another edition of the most consistent, prolific, and dedicated uploads in YouTube history. This is the dynamic Sean's View Entertainment on YouTube.com. Make sure to like this video and subscribe. I'm not a dummy. I know what's going on with TNA Impact Wrestling, but I wanted to explore and get all the details. I wanted to get all the information before giving an opinion. But right now, I think TNA is playing some what they call damage control. TNA trying to act as if, trying to cover up, acting like everything's all fine and good. You know, it's going to be a smooth transition. They're just going to sign another deal with Spike TV, even though the news broke that their deal with Spike TV was going to run out and they were not going to renew. You know, all these years, you know, fans have been talking about and speculating about TNA's demise. How much more can TNA take? How much more can they withstand? How much more crap do they have to deal with? I mean, they always come through. They always find a way to rise up. But I don't know. This is a very crucial developments here. Not only that, but, you know, they're talking about how negotiations are still ongoing. Well, how much of that is true? How much of that is fact? We don't know. But we've been saying for years that TNA will not be able to stand the test of time. But, you know, TNA has backed themselves into a corner. TNA has done this to themselves. There's a lot of things that have weighed that company down. There's no doubt about it. And listen, I don't wish death. I don't wish any business, especially wrestling business, to go under. I don't want to see TNA go under, but they are not living up to their promise. TNA has definitely lost a lot of steam over the last few years, whether it be production, whether it be losing wrestlers, whether, you know, contracts, wrestlers not getting paid on time. Like I said, TNA has created a lot of their own problems. Where are all the fans of TNA from 2006 and 7 and 8? Where are those die-hard TNA fans that used to watch the product day in and day out? I'll tell you where they are. They left. They're gone because they realize what we all realize. TNA is only a former shell of itself. Excuse me if I can get my words out right. They were only a former shell of their self, of what they used to be. You see, I used to be a big TNA fan myself. I know many people might not believe that, but I followed the product 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8. I followed it when people were actually interested in it, when it was actually cool to defend the product, when it was cool to say, you know what, I'm not afraid, I'm a TNA fan. But, you know, TV-14, that was supposed to save them. Oh, TNA, they're TV-14, that's really going to make TNA be the #1 franchise, and they're going to really go above and beyond, and, you know, nothing's going to stop them. Well, without a contract and without having a network on your side, that may be what stops them. But once again, I'm not going to say that TNA is dead and gone yet. I've said it before, they will be dead and gone, but every time I say that, they always find a way to come through. But now that Spike TV says they are not going to renew, TNA says they are going to renew, there's negotiations. Well, what about this new rumor that just came out this morning? It was speculated on the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, go subscribe to them, that WWE likely could offer to purchase TNA's tape library if for some reason TNA couldn't get picked up by another network. The going rate for something like that is around $500 per hour of footage. TNA has a little over 1,000 hours of just Impact Wrestling footage. Regarding TNA possibly getting picked up by other networks, it was also said that not having Hulk Hogan is hurting them when it comes to interest from other stations. Well, listen, Hulk Hogan went to TNA. Eric Bischoff went to TNA. Sting was in TNA. If that couldn't lift up the spirits, if that couldn't better the product, if that couldn't maintain ratings, if that could not make them, you know, attract a different audience, if Hulk Hogan, arguably the biggest name in professional wrestling history, if he couldn't help TNA skyrocket, if he couldn't help TNA expand, then who the hell can help TNA? If Hulk Hogan was a failure on doing that, well then who the hell can do it? You'd have to have Austin, The Rock, John Cena. You'd have to have all those guys go to TNA, and we all know TNA cannot afford that. But this could help out the WWE Network because of those diehard TNA fans that existed in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those diehard fans that existed might subscribe to the WWE Network if the WWE Network acquired the TNA Impact Wrestling footage, pay-per-views, live events, all these other shows that TNA has. So, I mean, I think this would be a great thing for the WWE because there would be kind of like a crossover thing happening here. Once again, I don't wish death upon TNA. Listen, I'm a wrestling fan, so I respect every wrestler that goes out there and you know, their trials, their contributions, you know, laying it all on the line, trying to give you fans a show of a lifetime. You know, I'm not the biggest TNA fan. Like I said, I was a big TNA fan back a few years ago. But it's died down. The feeling, the aura, the strategy, It's just not there. TNA has, like I said, they've created a lot of their own problems here. And, you know, a lot of fans did stop watching. I mean, look at the current roster. Look at the talent. Look at all the talent that is left over the years. It's just not, it wasn't getting any stronger. The strength wasn't picking up. TNA was always behind the 8 ball. Anyway, no matter how many times they survived, no matter how many times they thrived, they were always behind, whether it be production, whether it be talent, whether it be contracts, whether it be money, whether it be, you know, checks coming in not on time. There's a lot of things that TNA has created on their own problems. So, at the end of the day, you know, I hope TNA doesn't fall. I hope they don't go out of business. I hope that the deal comes through. I hope that the negotiations are still ongoing like they're saying. But I think it's just damage control. I think they're just trying to cover it up. I think they realize that this situation is very crucial. I think that they realize that this is a very serious situation that they can't take very delicately. They have to maintain, and they have to come up with something real fast, because TNA, without a network, I don't care how many fans want to watch the product or support it, you ain't going to survive, especially in this day and age. Subscribe.